All right, everybody. Last time we ended and I assigned homework 1.1 through 1.5 for you to look over and for us to go over. And we will do that. But I would like to finish the content of this chapter so that we can try to get back on track timing-wise. The quiz is now up, but I haven't assigned when it was due yet. And so it's going to be due by tomorrow night at 9 so that I can grade them and we can come back Thursday and talk about them. And then the test will be posted on Thursday and that will be due Sunday night by 11:59. Does everybody understand that? Okay. So we're trying to get it back on track, and we pass around the roll sheet. And let me ask a question. Does everybody that ordered the book have the book? Has anyone ordered it and not gotten it? You ordered it?
Yeah, I ordered it and it never sent me an email. But it sent like my dad an email, like the receipt, but it never sent him the book either. So, and every time I pull it up to go and pay for it again, it doesn't give me another option to pay for it but PayPal.
But, so you were charged for the book?
Yes.
Send me an email saying, I paid for the book, I didn't get it. And you too?
I got the online actually. I don't know if we're supposed to get a physical.
No, you're not supposed to get, you're supposed to get a PDF. You did not do Moodle Play, you did the top button, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's all an e-text now to make it cheaper. Okay, so we want to finish out the chapter, and so that takes us to section 6 of chapter 1, induction and deduction. Okay, as of now, you know what an argument is. An argument in this attempt to show some claim is true or probably true by offering evidence. Okay. The way you go about evaluating an argument depends on what kind of argument it is, and arguments come in two basic flavors, inductive or deductive, so we need to be able to differentiate between inductive and deductive arguments. Okay. Now traditionally, most textbooks define the difference between inductive arguments and deductive arguments by the intent of the arguer. If they intend to prove something, it's deductive, and if they intend to show that something is likely to be true, short of proof, it was inductive, okay? What I want to say is intent has nothing to do with it, whether or not we should classify something as inductive or deductive, because sometimes people can overstate the case and say, and so therefore we know for certain that this must be true, but the kind of evidence they offer can't guarantee the truth of the conclusion. And other times someone might understate the case. They might have conclusive proof that such and such is true, but say so probably, right? And if we looked at those words certainly or probably to take that as indications of the author's intent, we would get the wrong answers as to whether they're inductive or deductive, okay? What we want to focus on is the kind of evidence that's being offered. Certain kinds of evidence can be proof positive that some claim is true, and other types of evidence can give us good reasons for believing that something is true, but fall short of proof. Does everybody understand that? And so we're going to go about differentiating between inductive and deductive, and we'll catalog different types of inductive and different types of deductive. But basically, we're looking at the evidence to tell us whether it's inductive or deductive. But just for giggles, let me read an argument, and you tell me whether or not you think it's inductive or deductive. I'm reading passage 9 on page 8. A pocket watch has numerous parts that fit together just so as to fulfill a function. Moreover, pocket watches have creators. The universe is like a pocket watch, since the universe has numerous parts that fit together just so as to fill a function. Therefore, the universe, like a pocket watch, probably has a creator. Inductive or deductive? Inductive, that's right. Even if we change the wording, therefore the universe, like a pocket watch, must have a creator. This is an analogy, and analogies can only show that something's probably true, not that it must be true. Does everybody understand that? So we have two argument kinds, inductive and deductive. And the first under inductive is arguments by analogy. Okay? And just to clarify things here, analogies kind of work like this. This is like the very generic form of analogy. We might say A has attributes A, B, C, and D. And we might say B has attributes A, B, and C. Therefore, B probably has D. Okay? That's how analogies work in general. What you're saying is A and B are similar in all of these ways. A has this attribute, I think B must have it too, because they're similar in all those other ways. Well, just because they're similar in all those other ways doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be similar in this additional way. Does everybody understand that? So that's why analogies are inductive arguments. Okay? How about this? God is perfect by definition. If God didn't exist, then God would be less than perfect. Hence, it must be the case that God exists. Inductive or deductive? Deductive, okay? And what's happening here is we're trading on the meanings of the words, okay? So any argument where the conclusion is based on the meanings of the words, we're going to say is deductive, okay? So arguments by definition. Okay, so if it follows from the definition, then it's a deductive argument, okay, because it follows with necessity. Okay. All right, so let me go on. We have the basic distinction. I'm going to now go over a number of deductive argument types. So we're gonna add on to that list, and then we'll add on to our inductive. Okay. We've already got arguments based on definitions as deductive, and let me just give you another example. Susan's mother has a brother. Therefore, Susan has an uncle. It follows from what it means for a mother to have a brother that any child of the mother would have an uncle. Does everybody understand that? So that'd be an argument based on definitions, okay? To be clear, suppose it's not true that Susan's mother has a brother, okay? This is still a deductive argument because it's offering the kind of evidence, if true, could prove the conclusion, okay? It's a bad deductive argument because the premise isn't actually true. Does everybody understand that? So don't worry about whether or not the premises are true or false for determining whether it's argument is inductive or deductive. You're just worried about what kind of evidence is being offered. That tells us whether it's inductive or deductive. And later we'll make a distinction between good inductive arguments and bad ones, and the same for deductive, and we'll handle that problem about true or false premises. Yes?
So like if you were to have like an equation that comes up to like a probability, if you're within that probability, would it be like deductive, kind of like that? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I might, and we're gonna get, probably gonna answer that question in a little bit, and if I don't, when I get to talking about probability, ask it again.
It's like I have the idea, but it's kind of hard to relate.
Yeah, and part of it's gonna depend on exactly how you word things, okay? To exactly what you're claiming. Was there a question in back? No? I thought I saw a hand. Okay. All right, so, next up are mathematical arguments and geometric arguments. These are deductive. By math, that's weird, I should have said mathematical arguments, or arguments by geometry. I should say geometrical reasoning or something. So for example, Bob has 10 apples, Tom has 5 apples, together Bob and Tom have 15 apples. Any doubt about that? If the premises are true, there can be no doubt that there's 15 total apples, and that's mathematics. So mathematical arguments are deductive. Now, suppose Bob doesn't have 10 apples, he only has 9. If this is still going to be a deductive argument, right? We might just be wrong about how many he actually has. And suppose I said Bob has 10 and Tom has 5, therefore together they have 16. It's still a mathematical argument, I've just botched it. So we're going to classify it as deductive because it's offering mathematical evidence. Does everybody understand that? So don't worry about whether the premises are actually true or false. And then, look, I said geometry. So argument 13, L and M are intersecting straight lines. Angles A and B form straight line L. Angles C and B form straight line M. Therefore, angle A and C, A must